So The Crow, the 2024 version, is, I guess, a reboot or it's a reimagination of the Crow film franchise, and I've been told that it is not a remake, even though, let's be real here, guys, the comparisons between this film and the 94 film are inevitable. There is no way getting around that at all. This film was directed by Rupert Sanders and it stars Bill Skarsgård and FK Twigs as Eric and Shelley. One night when Eric and Shelley come home, they are both murdered, and when Eric is given a chance, he comes back resurrected for, you guessed it, vengeance. Before I continue on with today's video, I just wanted to say welcome to my channel, everybody. For those of you who are coming by my channel for the very first time, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a future video, whether it's a future review, reaction, top 5, or whatever I have coming your way, and join me on my journey to 10K subscribers and beyond, because believe me when I say this, guys, you are not going to want to miss the cool shit I have coming your way. And for those of you who are coming back to my channel, welcome back, guys. You have no idea how happy I am to see your faces once again. Also, really quick as well, let's start our conversation below. What did you guys think of The Crow? Have you seen it? Have you not seen it? Are you going to see it? Let me know below. Alrighty, guys, so let's get into the 2024 The Crow.
Excellent!
I guess the opera house scene had some interesting visuals to it.
Well, that's just fucking great!
So, I was not looking forward to this movie at all. Because here's the thing, guys. The 1994 version of The Crow is such an awesome movie. I mean, I love that film. I actually reviewed the movie last year for Halloween Horror Reviews 2023. And man, my rewatch that film, the 1994 version of The Crow, holds up in this. If you guys have not seen the 94 Crow, I highly recommend you do so, because not only is that film just a great film, but that film is a man's legacy. It really is a man's legacy. This movie, anytime I saw any bit of footage or a still or those looks, I just kept thinking in my head, why? For those of you in the comments are about to say I'm letting my love for the 94 film influence how I feel about this movie, absolutely not. Anytime that I go into a film, especially a film that I'm not looking forward to whatsoever, I will always go into that said film with the most open mind possible, because who knows? Maybe a film like this could be a huge surprise. I could be like, you know, guys, that film is not nearly as bad as people are saying it is. There was absolutely no reason for this film to be made. I mean, there was no reason why any director, screenwriter, producer, there is no reason for this film to have been made, let alone even conceived another adaptation of The Crow. There was legitimately no reason for it to happen. This movie was just terrible in every sense of the word. All of the performances here are just dull, wooden. Everybody here feels like they just do not want to be here. Danny Houston, who I usually love in movies, his character and his motivation is, it's dry, it's very, very thin. FK Twigs, I have not seen her in anything as far as more. I believe this was her film debut, and I don't really know her work as a singer, but her work here, she does everything that she possibly can with the script that she is given, but her performance is so bland and it's so dull. Even Bill Skarsgård, and this is no offense to Bill Skarsgård, because here's the thing. Bill Skarsgård is a brilliant actor. I mean, I have not seen Boy Kills World, even though I've heard great things about him in that movie. Not even Bill Skarsgård can save this movie. I'm dead serious when I say this. Believe me, he does everything that he possibly can to at least bring some bit of life into this movie, but Bill Skarsgård himself could not to this film. When it comes down to the chemistry between him and FK Twigs, there is no chemistry, and that is the worst, because here's the thing. This version of The Crow is straight up a gothic romance film, although the gothic bit doesn't even feel like it's even in this movie one bit. Just want to mention that as well. The romance bit of the film what romance in this movie. The romance part of this movie is so poorly done. I really felt like I was watching some rip-off thing from Hot Topic meeting Twilight. When the heart of this movie is that you're supposed to buy that these two are together after what? Maybe like 30 minutes of them going like, hey, why are you into me because of this? Why are you into me because of this? And when this movie expects you to care about these two characters when there's either A, no development for either one of them, or their romance, which is so rushed and so forced, especially when literally the explanation that you get is maybe a one sentence thing or how they met, which there are so many plot holes in this movie I just realized, but I don't have all the time to go into that right now. You do not, or at least I did not, buy the romance for one bit. And when a film like this relies on you to buy the romance, especially for the reason why Eric goes out and goes on a bloody murder spree. Something else I gotta bring up, and this is something that I really disliked about this version, and that was just Eric's character in general in this movie. Eric, and here we go, here's the comparisons, guys. Like I said, they were inevitable at this point. In the 94 version of The Crow, Eric was not only a very cool guy from what you saw in the flashbacks, seemed like a really chill guy that had a very loving relationship with his fiance, but at the same time, when he was the Crow, he actually helped people out in that movie. What we have is a guy that was in rehab, gets out of rehab with his girlfriend, starts using again, and he gets into something with a girlfriend that you're supposed to believe are supposed to be the loves of their lives. Eric Draven in this movie is not only unlikable, but there's just, again, there's no soul to his character at all, let alone even FK Twigs. Another aspect about this movie that I have to criticize is the directing by Rupert Sanders. His directorial debut as far as more is Snow White and the Huntsman, a movie to me that I find to be very underrated and a badass new addition to Snow White. This movie doesn't feel like a guy that actually had passion to even have a reason to resurrect the Crow from the dead. Rupert Sanders just feels like he just brings up the Crow just to have him back on the big screen. No other reason than that, by the way. And oh my god, something else I gotta mention is the pacing. This movie is relentlessly boring. This movie is near 2 hours long, and I'm not even kidding when I say this to you guys, and I might as well mention it. Spoiler here, by the way. The Crow bit where Eric Draven goes on his vengeance literally does not happen until the last 25 minutes. What do you get as a result for at least the remainder, or at least the first bit of the runtime for like a good 75%? What you get is a boring and a lifeless romance. That is what you get. There are parts of this movie where it goes to a bit and it gives either no explanation as to how a certain thing got there, or even worse, once a part of the film is gotten to, they over-explain everything. So the movie is constantly either not explaining it at all, leaving you in the dark, or B, it's constantly over explaining to you in exposition dumps. This is a movie in which I have a lot more things to say and how much I dislike this movie. In fact, strongly disliking this movie. But for the sake of your time and mine time, I'm just gonna go down to one more thing about this movie that I heavily disliked that left me thinking, you've gotta be shitting me right now. And that is the ending. What the hell was that?
And here we go.
So overall, I went into this with an open mind, but man, The Crow should have been left alone. The 2024 version of The Crow is a bland, dull, boring, and soulless adaptation. This is just one of those movies that should have never have happened, and it should have just been dead in its grave. All in all, I'm gonna give the 2024 Crow a 0 out of 5. This movie had no reason to exist. Guys, do not go and waste your time with this movie. Now, I will say this. For those of you who have come out of this movie and have enjoyed it, I'm very happy for you, but personally for me, this movie was a waste of time, money, and it should have not been made. I hope you enjoyed my review of the 2024 version of The Crow. If so, press the like button, or if you dislike the review, hit the dislike button. If you guys want to see my previous 2 reviews, please click right there or right there. And of course, until my next review or video goes live, I'll see you all next time.